Melkanians.
Good evening.
So, we are at the last week of the year. Hope all of you had made great plans for the new year and the new year night. So, wishing everyone an advance happy 2026 with lots of health, wealth, and prosperity to everyone. And now, as you all know, we had nominations for our next ExCom committee for January 2026 to June 2026. Here are the results out, and the results will be announced by our past president and chairman of the nomination committee, Toastmaster Lalana.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters. On behalf of the nomination committee, I would like to inform you that the election process for the executive committee of Mekon Communication Club for the term January to June 2026 has been completed. Based on the nominations received, the following members have been nominated for their respective posts, which they have accepted. DTM AK Prabhakara was also part of the nomination committee, and they have confirmed to him. So the president will be Toastmaster Apoorva. I'll request you to hold your applause till the end. VP Education is Toastmaster Shreya. VP Membership Toastmaster Shuba. Associate VP Membership Toastmaster Madhusudhan. VP PR Toastmaster Rachana. Associate VP PR Toastmaster Rao. Treasurer Toastmaster Chetan. Secretary Toastmaster Ujwal. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sachin. Associate Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Darshan. So let us consider that the election process for the term January to June 2026 has been completed and accepted with a round of applause. I request the secretary to please make a note of this in the minutes. Okay?
Let's give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster. Congratulations and the best wishes to the new next ExCom committee for the next term. And since there's no announcement from the VPE, the Sergeant at Arms can take over.
Before we begin, can we have everyone's phones on silent mode or switched off? Awesome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to another meeting of the Mekon Communication Club.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here on a chilly December evening. Now, let's do some trivia. I have always been fascinated with the origins of English words, and I think our theme today, Clue, Hint, and Breakthrough, offers a deep well to root around in. For example, did you know the word hint has some pretty old origins dating back to the 1600s? Anyone? Did you guys know that? Okay. So, here's a question. Who is a famous writer to have first used the word hint in his writing?
Shakespeare.
Well done. I was going to offer another hint. Well done, that's a good break. Did you know the word clue meant, at some point in the past, a ball of yarn, and has now come to mean a guide to solving a puzzle? So here's another question. Which popular Greek legend does the word clue come from?
Ariadne string.
Sorry?
Ariadne string.
Yes, that's a good answer. So I actually had some clues and hints for you to get these, but you didn't need them. Well done. Now, coming to my favorite part of this introduction for the past 6 months, I've composed a tiny little poem, so just bear with me. This poem has been 6 months in the making to celebrate a journey that's path-breaking of this lead program selected Toastmaster who speeds through levels and no one else is faster. Event management skills, yes, she's confident. A coach, a trainer of skills development. Communication and leadership is her forte. With a progressive mindset, she's here to stay. What a pleasure introducing this Triple Crown awardee. And no, this was not composed by ChatGPT. Please join me in welcoming our President, Toastmaster Latha.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms. It's like first time my introduction is done by poetry. Thank you so much. Since we do not have any guests today, so I would like our acting secretary, Toastmaster Madhu, to read out the MOM for meeting number 1347.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. This is the minutes of the meeting for meeting number 1347 held on the 22nd of December. Theme was expectations versus reality. The word of the week was potential. The business session started at 6:22 p.m. and was chaired by the President Toastmaster Latha. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The President gave a reminder to members about receiving an email from Toastmaster Lalana regarding executive committee nominations for the next term and requested eligible members to submit their nominations before the deadline of 25th December. She mentioned that the induction ceremony for the new term would be held on 5th of January at Mecon premises in the first floor. On behalf of the Vice President Education, Toastmaster Apoorva TR, the President mentioned that for the meeting on December 29th, 2 speech slots and the role of Table Topics Master had been booked and that all other roles were open for interested members to take. The regular meeting started at 6:23 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Rachana started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Latha. President Toastmaster Latha opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Madhusudhan. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers. The timer was Toastmaster Deepa Krishna Reddy. Our counter was Toastmaster Abhijit. PP Evaluator was Toastmaster Rekha and Grammarian was Toastmaster Darshan. There were 2 prepared speakers. The first speaker was Toastmaster P and the evaluator was Toastmaster Rahul and the second speaker was Toastmaster Midun and the evaluator was Toastmaster Ujwal. Inside the table topic session, there was a debate session which was moderated by Toastmaster Apoorva TR and the topic was using ChatGPT for personal and professional growth is a boon. The teams and members were as follows. Team 1 was for and it had Toastmaster Abhishek, Toastmaster Darshan, Toastmaster Shuba, Toastmaster Ajay and Toastmaster Rachana as the members. Team 2 was against the topic and the members were Toastmaster Rao, Toastmaster Deepa, Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Rekha and Toastmaster Malagiridas. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Chetan. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker was Toastmaster Midun, Best Evaluator was Toastmaster Ujwal, Best Debate Speaker was Toastmaster Malagiridas, Best Debate Team was Team 1 which was for. The Best Role Taker TAPG was Toastmaster Darshan and the Best Role Taker MTG was Toastmaster Madhusudhan. The President closed the meeting at 8:20 p.m. followed by the National Anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Toastmaster Madhu, for reading all the MOM. Any amendments or any objections? Since there are no objections with any amendments proposed, I hereby consider it as accepted. Open meeting number 1348. This speech is going to be a little emotional, something memorable for me because this will be my last presidential address for my term. It's very special for me and I think this recording will be something which I will save it for my future singing. Let me take you back to March 2020. A year none of us want to forget and our generation will never forget. The start of Corona. March 2020. What happened was, before that, we just had planned a Goa trip. All preparations, full Zoom, full swing, all excited. I was like, okay, March is going to be a little hot, maybe too hot for a Bangalorean like me, but okay, Goa is more important than the heat over there. Let's plan out all reservations done, car bookings done, everything done. Even I finished preparing my theplas and khakras, everything done. And then on March 22nd, 2020, there's an announcement, we have a lockdown. This is the first time I heard a term, what is a lockdown? our generation of people who live through this, we don't know what you mean by lockdown because we never faced it. And then suddenly you're like, how will you adjust or adapt to this? 3 months with your family members at home, can't move out, can't go anywhere. There are rules, regulation, timings for everything. How do I adapt to it? Then one by one we started getting hints. Okay, this will be open from so much so time. Groceries will be available so only one person can go. Vegetables will be available so and so time. If you want to get medicines, there's so many times. And there were so many rules and regulations coming in. One by one we started getting hints and clues. And then we started understanding, yes, how will we adapt to this lifestyle? And we really don't know how many months, years, days, weeks this is going to be for us, for this lifestyle. And then we started clearly, slowly getting adapted. And I know it's not a good time, but I feel that was one of the best times what I had as a family. It was first time in years I could see both my brothers and me sitting at home with our parents, cooking meals together, washing weathers together, and washing clothes together, because no maids. This is a nice, good time we had. And then after a certain time, I think I don't know about others, but I started getting bored with that lifestyle. I'm seeing all 5 members only in the 3 BHK house where we have. Everyone seeing everyone all the time. Even if I go to balcony, my house owner comes like, Latha, don't come out. Please stay inside the house. If you cough with sneeze, the virus may come out. If you are getting infected. You can't even come in the balcony and see people on the road. And then comes the injection we call or vaccination we call. And that was one thing I was very excited about. I never got infected in the first phase or second phase. It was the third phase, but I got infected with coronavirus. But the first phase, when they announced we have a vaccination, and you don't need to worry, you just take the vaccination and you may at least not die because of corona, you may just be saved from it. And I was very excited to get it. And I thought this was one breakthrough because a lot of vaccinations come after years of research, 10 years, 12 years. This we got within 1 year. It has its side effects later on, that's a different thing, but that saved us. And I feel that was one of the, I cannot term best or something. This was one breakthrough. I think it wouldn't match any other breakthroughs what we happened. That vaccination helped us to keep ourselves safe and not die of coronavirus over there. And this was done by our own Indian government, government of India, but no other governments could do it. And we were the government which helped other countries to get this virus and save their people from that. And this is one pride I always say that I'm an Indian who did that. And this was something, if tomorrow when our next generations come, I would like to tell them these stories, how we didn't have a hint, we didn't have a clue, what we are going to do, how our future is going to be, whether we will be alive, will be dead, what's going to happen. But we had a hope that at the end of the tunnel there's a light. There will be a breakthrough where we will see the next sunrise tomorrow and the next generations will also see our sunrise. On this note, I would like to introduce the person who gave us this theme, clue, hint and breakthrough. No need of introduction for this person, but I would like to introduce this person with few sentences. My mentor, the pillar and the person who is responsible for this club from 1998, from past 27 years, and the person whom I always like to see behind the lectern, and the first choice of every table topic master for him to get behind the lectern. Let's give it for the Toastmaster of the day, the distinguished Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that rather brief and succinct introduction. Mine would have been long and would have taken a lot more time. Thank you for being brief. Having said that, for kids, maybe 9 to 12 years range, they were playing carrom. And the four kids, the two were Tamilians kids and two were Kannadiga kids. It goes, one of the Kannadiga kids was me. Story goes back, anecdote goes back decades ago, when I was young. The combination was one Kannadiga, one Tamilian as a team. Tamilians kids didn't know English, word of Kannada, and we didn't know word of Tamil. Only thing we knew was broken English. Yes, no, all right type. And one corner, my grandfather was sitting with newspaper in hand. We were playing. That red. No, the white one next to that. Take it on bound, rebound. So this kind of one word exchange was going on. After some, the game was over and we were about to go out for a cricket, for a tennis ball cricket. My grandfather called all four of us and said, if you want to speak in a language you don't know, first start thinking in that language. There's always a conversation going inside your mind. Learn to switch to that. Then you will get a hang of that language. He told in so many different ways to us at the kids level, but this is the sum total he told. It's a kind of hint that stood by me for more than a decade and a half. And I thought that I have got things under control as far as language is concerned, but it was not like that. After some time, I finished my engineering. I got selected to Steel Authority of India, SAIL. I was posted to Bokaro Steel Plant in Bihar. And there, my parents told it was all Hindi only. You are going to the heart of Hindi land. So I went and I was directed to one head of a group, one CBP Singh. So CBP Singh knew only Hindi. Whatever English he spoke is only from the technical point of view, technical language. He was an electrical automation engineer similar to us. He spoke only that language when it is needed, otherwise it's Hindi. So after gathering a few of us who are all from different parts of India, he said, "Pehle hum log jaake chai pita hai." So chai is understood, pita hai understood, utho baitho understood, no problem. We went to one hut-like thing, it's called jhopdi. Jhopdi mein chai pita. So we went there. So a little early in the morning, so he shouted to the hut. Nobody was there. He said, "Pan chai laiye." One voice came from inside saying that "Aap to baithiye sir, le aata hai." So then I said, "So Panch chai, understood, baithiye." Then my boss reacted like this. बैठना तो है, बैठने का साधन नहीं है. This sadhan, Hindi, sadhan is in Kannada, sadhan is in Sanskrit, which I had learnt in school days. It is there. So sadhan is something that is common to all these languages. My ears really got alerted. Within 3 weeks, I had so many of these words. I learnt one thing. If it is ascharya in Hindi, in Kannada it is ascharya. In maybe Tamil it is Ascharyam, or in Telugu Ascharyamu, something like that. I got a hang of this language. Then I started using without control any technical word, some word here and there. Kannada I used to cut the last bit and release it. And then somebody said that "Aap to Pandit hai, so Shuddha Hindi mein baat karta hai." Then I realized that that's what Hindi is about. At the end of each sentence, add a hi. So got it. That was one stage. Then what happened? I became a group in charge at some point of time. Some young engineers were posted to me, under me, and it happened that one of them was somewhat a aggressive person. He didn't know how to speak with others. He was rubbing kind of person who created heat when there was nothing to be, nothing like a heat in the conversation. He was an abrasive personality. So I didn't know how to deal with that. So I just happened to confess this situation to my senior colleague. He said, "इसको क्या है? उसको market में भेज दो, public ठीक करता है." I didn't understand what is that market में भेजना, public ठीक करता है. He said, I didn't understand. He said that you are trying to protect the engineer, and he is kind of, and you are taking his job and doing all things, that answering everything that he has brought up to you. You send him to the other departments, let him discuss and come back, then he will know what kind of thing that they will treat if he is not good enough. So I decided I will send him to one Karthik Sarkar. Karthik Sarkar was a very aggressive person. If he doesn't take no nonsense, he is a no nonsense kind of person. So I thought I direct him to him. Let's see what happens. He's a good friend of mine, colleague. I sent him to him. Then he, whatever happens, I didn't know Karthik Sarkar. I got a call from him. Prabhu, I was called short Prabhu. Prabhu, yeah, Prabhu. You send raw people in front of me. He's wasting my time asking raw questions. He doesn't seem to know, understand what he's blah blah blah. He said. Then I said. Then he came back, my young Khabadi, and I told him, what did he tell? No, I told you. How did you feel? No, sorry, don't send me like that to him. Then within 3 weeks, I kept sending him to different people. He became sedate, and all the rough edges were gone. He felt really sedate and sad. Then he said, then I started help. Then I told him, whatever you want to do, first thing is to write it down. Design changes are always record. It should be kept on record. So there was no such thing as an email and words like that. So he struggled to express his thoughts in writing. So that's when I started, if you come to me, then I will correct it, otherwise not. So that's when he said that he started, that there has to be some kind of an effort in this direction to become a standalone engineer. That is the kind of thing, no training, no shining, all those things were on the draw. You are into the job, and after 6 months or 1 year, your training is over. You should pick up things. That's the way it was in those days. So when I think of this, there was no kind of mentoring in our days. We just got the hint there, a clue there, and works like that. And I kept wondering how this Rahul Smedley built this organization the way it is. So I just kind of dug out and found out it's like that. In 1905 to 1924, he kept trying different ways of doing things, but was not successful. But in 1924, October 22nd, he opened this one meeting in basement of YMCA in Santa Ana, California. There he had convinced some 24 people who was in touch with him to come to the meeting. They attended, and maybe few dropped out. After a year, one person, a member, brought a guest. After almost a year, brought a guest. His name was Clark Chamberlain. That person was an advertising salesperson. He was impressed by the way the meeting took place. He thought that this can be a very big tool when it comes to really building confidence in people to speak in front of the audience. So he requested Rahul Smedley, please come and help me to start one club in my town, that is Anaheim, not very far off from the place where Smedley was holding the first meet, Santa Ana. So Smedley went to that place for 3 months, every week driving from Santa Ana to Anaheim. And after that 3 months, here alternate weeks he used to go for another 3 months. That's how the concept of mentoring the club and mentoring the individuals came into play. Those words were not there, but he did that. That Clark Chamberlain was somebody who stood by Toastmasters to build up further. Within a couple of more years, quite a few clubs had come and collapsed also, but 6 clubs remained operational. And those 6 clubs formed a federation, and that was the breakthrough. First breakthrough for him was Chamberlain taking him to mentor one club in his town. Further was Chamberlain becoming the first president or second president for 2 years between 1930 and 32, and that federation of Toastmasters became what it's called today, a Toastmaster International. This was just kind of thing, a clue, a hint, and the breakthroughs. All this can happen if a person it can happen to a person, a seeker. A seeker gets the solution. Just remember, if you don't seek, it won't happen. Perhaps everybody who is trying to help you, if you are seeking, they lend a hand to you. On this note, let me start the meeting. The Toastmasters meeting, as I said, is more or less the format has remained same for over the years. It has got Today, from that one club and the sixth club, today it is over 14,000 clubs with 3 lakh plus, nearly 3 lakh members, and operating in 148 to 150 countries. It varies. This is how it is, starting from one club. And each meeting has 3 sessions: a project speech session, a table topic session, followed by a general evaluation session. So we start the project speech session with the help of role takers, as we call it, a TAPG team, and they are timer, R counter, parliamentary procedure evaluator, and a grammarian. TAPG is grammarian. So timer, Toastmaster Ajay, please be brief to the point, explain your role. Please, Ajay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As the timer of the day, I'll time the table topic speeches, the project speech, as well as the evaluations. For the level 1 project 2 speech, I'll raise the green card at the 5-minute mark. At the 6-minute mark, I'll raise the yellow card, and at the 7-minute mark, I'll raise the red card. For the table topic speeches, I'll raise the green card at the 1-minute mark, the yellow card at the 1.5-minute mark, and the red card at the 2-minute mark. And for the evaluations, I'll raise the green card at the 2-minute mark, the yellow card at the 2.5-minute mark, and the red card at the 3-minute mark. I'll give the timer's report at the end of the session.
Our counter Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note down words and sounds that are crutch and pause fillers used by the speaker. During the meeting, I will note down the repeated words or overused words such as and, am, so, and you know. And also, I will also note down the filler sounds such as and I will also note down the repeated words that is, this is, I, and I will give my report during the general evaluation. Thank you so much.
Parliamentary procedure evaluator, Toastmaster Chetan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. As the PP for today, I have 4 rules. No cross-talking when the speaker is at the lectern. Let's enter and exit during an applause. No talk on sex, politics and religion. And finally, let's keep our phones on silent so that there's no interruptions. Thank you.
Let's move into the project speech session proper. The first of the speech today. Oh. Is Grammarian Toastmaster Rahul. Thank you, sir.
Happy evening, amazing Toastmasters. This is Rahul here. I have 2 distinct roles today. One, as a grammarian, my role is to note good usages and not so good usages of the words. Second, as a word master, it is my pleasure to introduce the word of the day, revel. What does revel means? It's like experiencing a thing. Experience this meeting, not just staying here, but staying here with mind and with body. That is what revel means, and that is when you discover the experience within yourself. To give you an example, the audience begin to revel in the speaker's powerful storytelling. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day, and when called upon, I'll be giving my report.
Let's move into the project speech session. The first of the speeches today is from level 1 and project 2, from persuasive influence. I now request the evaluator of the project speech, Toastmaster Shreya, to read out its objectives. Shreya, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Notes for the evaluator. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with a purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. Their goal is to meet their expressed purpose statement with a well executed speech. About the speech, the member will present a well organized and well delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. Thank you.
The speech is titled Health Menu. The speaker is a final year engineering student from RV College of Engineering. He is a very keen TV serial watcher like anime, right? It's pronounced right? And cartoon TV series. He won a contest, third place winner in recently concluded humorous speech contest. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome the first speaker of today's meeting, Toastmaster Darshan.
If we go to a restaurant, we can see the menu and the prices first before we order. If the prices are too expensive, we can just close the menu and leave. In hospitals, we eat the meal first and then they show the menu and the prices. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. A few weeks ago, I went to a veterinary hospital. My cat had a surgery. Before the surgery, they clearly told me post-surgery care and charges are included. So the surgery was a success. After 3 days, I went to the hospital again for checkup. They checked the stitches, they checked the bandage, and they handed me the bill. 500 rupees for bandage charges. Since they had told me that post-surgery charges are included, I questioned them. I asked, I was told everything was included, why did you charge? They said nothing. They just removed the charges and they handed me another bill, hygiene charges. I again questioned. They didn't explain anything, no argument, they just removed. So after 10 days, I went again to get the stitches removed. My cat is a pure white Persian cat, very light skin, almost pink skin. When bandage stays on skin for many days, some redness is normal. As soon as the bandage came off, the doctor said, there is redness and swelling, we need to give an injection. I didn't want my cat to get unnecessary medicines, so I asked, is this really necessary? They agreed not to give the injection, but instead they suggested a tablet for swelling. I couldn't argue anymore, so I just agreed. And while billing, they said, the tablet is not available in our clinic. It's okay if you don't give it. There is one reality we must understand. When we go to a doctor, they diagnose you and they tell you what to do next. You are referred to different doctor. You are referred for tests, surgeries. When we hear the word referred, we think that it's better care. But what we don't know is what's really happening financially behind the scenes. In many cases, doctors receive commissions for every referrals they make. A simple lab test referral can bring about 20 to 30% commissions. In case of surgeries, the money involved is even more higher. That's why awareness is important. Not every referral is wrong, but not every referral is needed. Let me give you one more personal example. I recently went to a dermatologist for skin infection. He diagnosed me and he gave me a prescription. That day, I forgot to buy the medicines from their clinic. So I went to a pharmacy near my house. So I showed him the prescription and he looked and said, these medicines are not available in my clinic. So I went to another pharmacy and he said the same thing. There is one clinic near my house which is run by a friend of mine. So I went to him and I showed him. He said, the composition of this medicine is common. He just gave me a different brand medicine, but the same composition, same medicine. So same medicine, different brand, well-known brand, it worked. After a few days, I went for a follow-up to the same dermatologist. That day, I bought the medicines from their clinic. The medicines were available. The problem was not the medicine, it was the brand. In many cases, the doctors prescribe only specific brands, not because they are better, but because they are promoted or sponsored. Government approved schemes like Janaushadha, they have fixed prices and fixed margins, so they are rarely recommended. The patient only sees the prescription and trusts it. Hospitals these days, they have a lot to compete. They are large systems which must grow, survive, compete. They have expensive equipments, employee salaries, monthly targets to meet. So they quietly begin to follow business logic. And when you add insurance to it, everything changes. Without insurance, the patient pays directly from their pockets, so the treatment becomes conservative. The financial risks, the credit risks are against the hospitals. So with insurance, the financial pressure disappears. Tests are added to be safe. Admissions are recommended. ICUs becomes precautionary, and just like that, test keeps on adding on, and the bill is not designed for the patients. It is designed for the insurance approvals. And if any insurance approvals are rejected, it is not the hospital which is affected, it is the patient. That's why awareness is important. Let me be very clear why I am saying all this. It's not to make you distrust hospitals. It's not to say the doctors are villains or insurance is useless. At the end of the day, we are customers. Customers who have the right to ask questions, to know, to understand what every test means and how much they charge. See, I prepared this speech today, so I forgot a little, but I'll somehow manage. Many doctors enter this field in order to help and heal people. The systems apply pressure on them. So the best way to avoid all this, it is not better insurance, it is better health. The more we stay away from these systems, the less power they have over us. So at the end of the day, we need to be healthy, stay safe, be aware, and take care of your health. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster. PDM Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Now we move on to the next project speech. The speech is from level 4, elective project from presentation mastery pathway. I now request the evaluator to read out the objectives. Evaluator, Toastmaster Ujwal.
Namaste fellow Toastmasters, fabulous friends and familiar faces. The member is attempting level 4 project 2 elective project manage project successfully, the second speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. This being the second speech, the purpose is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience managing a project. Note for the evaluator, this is a 5 to 7 minute speech about the member's experience managing a project. The speech can be humorous, informational or any type that the member feels is appropriate. The speech should not be a report on the content of managed project successfully project. Notes for the members, the speaker will be discussing key dates as a part of the presentation. Thank you, and back to the master ceremonies.
The speech is titled An Experience to Remember. The speaker is a graduate of commerce and an interior designer, a passionate sports person and a fitness enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome the next speaker, Toastmaster and VP of our club, Apoorva.
Is it the journey to the destination or the destination itself that really matters? Recently, I reached my destination when I completed the club level contest. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
As you all know, on the 1st of December, we had the club level humorous speech and the table topic contest. Many senior members of the club applauded my efforts that I put in. Today, I am here to give you a sneak peek of what exactly goes behind the contest. Initially, the contest date was decided as 10th of November. Secretly, I always wished to be a contest chair at least once. Since I was the VP this term, I went ahead and felt that the timing was perfect and I took up the role. The contest chair has multiple responsibilities. Now I ask you, what is the most important thing to run a contest? Anybody?
Audience.
What?
The speaker, participants.
Participants.
Audience.
Finding the participants was the first responsibility. Next was to find the chief judge and the voting judges, followed by the role takers like the contest masters, timers, tally counters, sergeant. Next was the delegation of various tasks and the continuous follow-up with all the role takers and the PR team. Finally, being aware of the budget for various expenses that is going to be occurred in this process. At first, I started messaging every member of the club, individually asking them if they were keen to participate in the contest. If they said no, I would instantly ask them if they wanted to be role takers. In this way, I found the list of my participants and the role takers. In October 3rd week, there was a family emergency when a family member was admitted in the hospital. That kept me busy for a while. On November 4th, suddenly Toastmaster Latha messages me one day saying that Toastmaster Prakriti, our area director who had promised to get the chief judge, was unsuccessful. She also sends a series of contact details asking me to reach out. It was November 6th already, and we didn't have a chief judge for the contest happening on 10th of November. Anyways, when things didn't go as planned, I improvised. It was decided to postpone the contest to November 1st. First thing first, I was very clear of the first goal, and it was to find the chief judge. I start reaching out to all the information that I got from Toastmaster Prakriti. I was not successful in finding the chief judge. That's when it hit me that I didn't know a single Toastmaster outside of our club. The only person I knew was maybe DT Amitabha, who's technically an ex-member of our club as well. I was still unsuccessful. Then I turned to my last hope. I called my brother. He's a member of Republic of Toastmaster, and I go, Vishu, I don't know, I'm lost. I'm in a mess. I don't know what to do. I've already postponed the contest once. I need your help. Please, please, please. He's surprised. He's like, hello? Yeah, Poo. What do you want me to do? I want you to do me a favor. I want you to convince your friend, your mentor, to our club as a mentor, as a chief judge. Please, please, please. Oh, sure, I'll give it a try. I'm sure if I put in a word, he's going to get convinced and he's going to make it, unless he's really, really busy. And that's how, on November 17th, TTM Arvind, a Toastmaster who chartered Republic of Toastmaster, joined in as the chief judge for the contest. Then I thought everything was in place. Life tapped on my shoulder and said, "Not yet, Apoorva." The contest master, Toastmaster Prashant, backed out as soon as he got to know that the contest date was changed to 1st of November. 1st of December. And many role takers, all of a sudden, they changed their mind. They wanted to participate in the contest. That was the moment that hit me that I had to redo the entire work all over again. Finally, after much work, on November 20th, Toastmaster Shreya, the contest master, Toastmaster Sachin, the timer, Toastmaster Aadishwar, the tally counter, Toastmaster Midun and Toastmaster Melagiri Das, the sergeant, came on board as the role takers. On November 21st, Toastmaster Deepa, the timer. On November 22nd, Toastmaster Rachana, the contest master. And on November 23rd, Toastmaster Akash, the tally counter, came on board as role takers for the contest. On November 25th, all the role takers met for an online meeting for a general briefing about their role for the contest. On November 29th, all the participants and the contest master met for an online meeting to determine the speaking order as well as for a general briefing on as to how the contest is going to move ahead. Then I thought everything was finally in place. Life again tapped on my shoulder and said, "Not yet, Apoorva." Toastmaster Akash messages me one day before the contest on November 30th, telling due to his sudden travel plans, he has to back out as the tally counter. After multiple calls and many messages, I finally found the tally counter in Toastmaster Rekha. Every time when things didn't go as planned, I improvised. Finally, when again I thought everything was in place, life again tapped on my shoulder and said, "Not yet, Apoorva." On the contest day, in the morning, Toastmaster Rekha calls me and says she has an office meeting which has been set up all of a sudden and she had backs out from the room. Finally, Toastmaster Jyoti P, our newest member of Mekon Communication Club, joined in as the tally counter. After much apprehension, the contest thankfully went on successfully. Fellow Toastmasters, if you ask me if it was the journey or the destination, I would say the journey taught me when everything doesn't go as planned, don't give up, just improvise. Delegation and continuous follow-up will take you a long way. And the destination is something that taught me, the destination is something that was deeply fulfilling and gave me a moment of pride. Both the journey and the destination is something that is going to stay with me for many years to come. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Apu, for that. We move on to the second session, the table topic session. The table topic master today is an engineering graduate working in Mixpanel, a data analytics company, who helps the customer understand the customer behavior. The double customers are there. One is the real his customer and the customer's customer. So he is a sports enthusiast. He has unique stories to tell. He revels in telling that sports story. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome the table topic master of today's meeting, Toastmaster Madhusudhan.
I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings movies, and every time I come here I feel like I have to give topics based on something personal to me. I haven't read the books written by J.R.R. Tolkien, but I've seen the movies countless number of times, and they've always stuck with me. And considering today is the last meeting for this term, I felt Lord of the Rings seems a bit fitting, because Lord of the Rings is about a long journey, different people coming together, facing adventures and challenges, and meeting the goal and going back until the next chapter begins. And I think this meeting symbolizes that for this term. So I don't think we have any guests, it's all members here, so I'll spare the rules. Let's get to the first topic for today. When odds are against you, what helps? When odds are against you, what helps? Toastmaster Sachin.
So when the odds are against you, I think many people actually thrive because of this. Because when the odds are actually against you, you automatically become an underdog. So when you're an underdog, not many people have much expectation from you. So when they don't think you can do anything, you might as well be yourself. And you can just do your thing because people don't have any expectations on you. So you're automatically the underdog. So this happens many times. So coming to my experience, so I was part of the school football team, and I think in all the schools we have 4 houses, if you would know. So our actually was the weakest in that particular game. So people thought we were gonna lose. So we just went out there, we just had a basic plan as to how we want to play, and we just went there and we ended up winning. So because we felt that we were not expected to win anyway, so there was not much pressure on us. So even when, so the odds were against us, but we managed to. So the most important, I think, is what you need when the odds are against you is your self-confidence. To just do what you like to do. Yeah.
Well said, Toastmaster Sachin. Going to our next topic. Help quietly or lead publicly. Help quietly or lead publicly. Toastmaster Rachana.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the lovely topic, Toastmaster. Help quietly or lead publicly. So I have been in my escapist TV watching phase for the last 1 or 2 weeks because work has been stressful, and when life is stressful, I recently read an article that said when life is stressful, we usually watch escapist TV because we can predict what happens, or there are no stakes, or the stakes are very low, so that helps our brain sort of self-regulate. Anyway, one of the TV shows that I sometimes rewatch quite a bit is Ted Lasso, and if not everyone has seen it, it's this TV show of this American soccer coach who comes to England to coach a team that's sort of like an underdog in football, and the coach, his name is Ted Lasso. I think he's a great example of leading quietly versus doing something very publicly, because he doesn't know a thing about football, which just makes the show all the more hilarious. But at the same time, the way he leads and the way he connects to each of the team members really helps this underdog team win the championship, and I forgot what else it's called, but they basically win. Anyway, and that's my time marker, and back to
The next topic. Face fear or avoid it. Face fear or avoid it. This goes to Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you, brother. Fear. and faith go hand in hand. There's one abbreviation which I know about fear, which is false evidence accepted real. Faith is face anything in trusting Him. Faith is face anything in trusting Him. Happy evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. This is CA Rahul. Why fear and faith go hand in hand is very simple. It's the environment, it represents the environment. If you all know, life is like a car. The passenger beside you almost decides whether you're going to hit it or you're going to rock it. So the person beside you is either the person who is fearful or is like, chala de bhai, dekh lenge. That is faith. And whenever I got a choice, I've realized instead of avoiding it or tackling how to overcome fear, just focus on opposite of that. What is faith? Which gives you strength, which gives you courage, which unfolds the new mysteries which your personality has to discover. So, answer is dead opposite. Whenever you are fearful, focus on faith. And back to table topic master.
The next topic, small effort, big impact. Where have you seen this? Small effort, big impact. Where have you seen this? This goes to Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Every time Toastmaster Madhusudhan comes and explains different topics he's trying to explain, I feel like I'm uneducated because the kind of words or the kind of books, references he takes, or the kind of some series he watches, every time for me it is, what language is he talking? Am I uneducated? I have done my mechanical engineering, but still I feel like, I'm at probably LKG or UKG. And today's topic again, I feel the same thing. Okay, small efforts, big results. In my life, I've become a very hard worker. I never seen that word, small effort, big results. Every time it's reverse, right? Big effort, small results. So every time during my school or during my college, whenever I have to put 200%, then I'll get distinction or the first class. So that is the kind of efforts I see this one. But whatever you said, small efforts, big result, I think in my lifetime I have not seen it. Probably I love to see it. So thank you. That's my take on the subject.
I feel I'm doing something good by educating the masses. The next topic, protect what you love or chase something greater. Protect what you love or chase something greater. Toastmaster Chetan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you, Madhu, for the challenging topic. Something I learned about 4 years back was called test-driven development. Basically, it's a philosophy of writing code, and it goes right to the heart of the way programming is done. A lot of programmers in general will write their code and write their tests separately, or will write all their tests first and then write all their code later. Now, test-driven development is something that blends the two together. So you write a test, you write a failing test, then you write just enough code to make it pass. This was something that took me a long time to inculcate. It took me a good 6 months to understand the practice and burn it into my fingers and my muscles. And about 2 years ago, ChatGPT walked into our lives and made this skill obsolete. Overnight, it made this skill obsolete. At that time, I still took pride because I was writing far better code than anything GPT could produce. But as time has progressed, the models have gotten significantly better to the point where I can teach it to do test-driven development. It is insane how much these models have evolved and thrived. And I have no choice now but to give up on what I love and pursue something far bigger, possibly teaching the model my work so that I can go to the next step. With that, thank you and back to our debate.
The next topic, lead the mission or support the leader. Lead the mission or support the leader. This goes to Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and new guests. I'm very tempted to say support the mission because very less downside and all upside. It is trending these days to be the servant leader or just support the face. Like I think there was a very similar topic which was spoken on this table topics. One of the first few topics, I believe. Why is support? I feel supporting the leader has become fashionable. One, because they get more, they're thrown in more light than the leader many a times these days, with almost close to no downside. If anything goes wrong, the leader has to be blamed. But if something goes right, this entire support system is brought in front and they are given credit while reiterating that they have done it for no credit at all. So my take on the topic is that be the leader and take the mission from the front. Can you repeat the statement?
It's lead the mission or support the leader.
Okay. I would say leading the mission takes far more guts, and although glory might not be as much as supporting the mission, but I feel leading the mission takes far more guts, and I would like to make efforts in leading the mission rather than just supporting the leader. Over to you,
The penultimate topic for today. Courage comes from inside or experience. Courage comes from inside or experience. This goes to Toastmaster Lalana.
Mr. Table Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters. Courage comes from experience and
Courage comes from inside or experience.
Inside or experience. I would say it is both ways. Sometimes it might come from inside, and sometimes maybe experience will teach you to face your fears and move forward with courage. One example I would like to give is I visited Bhutan some years back, and then everybody, like as usual, they try to climb that tiger's nest, and which is very challenging. And just a few months back, I had fractured my ankle, and like everybody said, don't try it. Just now you have recovered, and it might aggravate your recovery chances and all that. I thought, okay, let me see. I will try to do it. If it becomes, the pain becomes really bad, I'll go halfway and I can always come down. Like if it is not possible. So somehow I had supporting friends also with me, and I managed to reach to the top. And though it was a little challenging, I wanted to go, I reached the top, and it was okay, not so bad. So sometimes it's within you to decide whether you want to do it. So the courage, you will automatically get the courage to do it. And sometimes, of course, experience also will make you do it. So that's my take. It can be either way. You cannot say it's only within or only with experience. It can be either ways. Back to you.
And the last topic for today, trust a friend or trust yourself. Trust a friend or trust yourself. This goes to Toastmaster Aadishwar.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Trust a friend or trust yourself. I would agree for both, because sometimes there is something called self-doubt. You cannot complete that work or do that work all by yourself. You need some support, you need some guidance, and for that you have friends, you have families to guide you, to support you. Because let's take an example, cricket. Cricket is not one sport, one person game. It is a team effort. 17 years Virat Kohli, 14-15 years Virat Kohli led the team. But one man, he couldn't get over the line. But everyone blamed him. And though he gave us 120% on the field, he couldn't win because he tried every year. He led from the front, but there was no team support. If batsmen were good, bowlers were bad. If he had a bad day, the team would collapse. But 2025, this year, there was a proper team built. It was a complete team effort, and that led to RCB winning their first title. So I would say sometimes you should trust yourself, because without trusting yourself, if you have self-doubt, listening to others also won't give you that confidence that can you do that work or no. So trust yourself and trust your friend. So yeah, thank you.
That's it from my end. I don't know if people have seen Lord of the Rings, but all these topics were derived from the story of whatever happens. And with that, I hand it back to our Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Madhusudhan. That brings us to the end of the second session. Now we break for how many minutes? 5 minutes, with the hope that we will finish on time. That's the deadline of 8:50. Now let's break for 5 minutes and gather ourselves again here for general evaluation session. Toastmasters, welcome back to the third session of this meeting, the general evaluation session. To conduct this session, we have a Toastmaster who is a social science graduate and she has a master's degree in visual communication. She works as a graphic designer in a company called Social Alpha, an innovation support system company. She is passionate about art and loves to experiment with different art mediums. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome the general evaluator of today's meeting, Toastmaster Shuba Subramanian.
Send it to the account committee. It's come to the executive committee.
Oh,
Went to the.
Welcome everybody to the final general evaluation session of this day and this term. Starting off, the meeting started at 6:22 p.m. There was hardly anyone in the room, but we quickly saw who were the role takers and improvised. And I think this is a record in our meetings to start this early. 6:15 is the usual time, but 6:22 is actually a record, because I think we've gone to like 6:27 earlier. So I think a round of applause for that. Then the actual meeting started at 6:24 p.m. And during the business session, the results of the election was announced, and the new terms committee members were revealed. Now coming to the start of the meeting, the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Rachana, took over, and I think it shows that week after week, coming here behind the lectern, starting off the meeting, the role of the Sergeant at Arms is basically to prime the audience of what is to come, and I think your sweet spot is trivia sessions, and we really enjoyed it. Asking a few questions, creating a little bit of
wonder and what would be the origin of the word, when was it used first, really hooks us and gets us interested even into the theme. So that was a great job. And I think one of the most endearing ways to introduce someone is to write poetry on them. And you really did a fabulous job. I'm sure our president Latha felt really appreciated and valued to the club. So that was a great thing, and you ended the introduction with a bang, the poetry. A round of applause to our Sachin. Next, coming to the secretary, Toastmaster Madhu, who read out the minutes of the meeting. Again, week after week, very meticulous, and I think you've reached a good pace of reading it out, which is not too slow that might bore us, but also fast, where it's a sweet spot of we actually take in what you're reading out. All the information is there, and it's easy to tell if there was something off, and there is nothing off, obviously. And for a great clarity and pace, give it up for Toastmaster Madhu. Next, coming to the President's address. This might have been very heartfelt for you for your last address of this term, and we could feel it in your speech. And you took us back in time to a very chaotic time of COVID, a recollection, and how your Goa trip failed, but then you connected that to bonding over lockdown and then vaccination, and connected the development of the vaccine to the theme and your interpretation of it. So that was an incredible job, and I think you love to take your personal, relatable experiences and really connect with the theme and hit the nail on the head with it. And yeah, we were there during that time when you took us through like COVID and everything. And yeah, for that, like bringing us a sneak peek into your life experience, unique life experiences. Give it up for our president, Toastmasters. I will keep the MC evaluation later. I think we can now go ahead with the individual evaluators for the speeches. I call upon the evaluator for Toastmaster Darshan, Toastmaster Shreya.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Darshan. So I'll divide this evaluation into 3 parts: where you excelled, where you can improve, and where you can challenge yourself. Starting with where you excelled, I think you fulfill the purpose of this project perfectly. The purpose was to have a speech with a purpose and a proper structure, and I felt that your speech structure was very good. It had a very clear opening, body, and conclusion, and your speech had a clear purpose which you kept iterating throughout your speech. And one thing that I liked was that even though this is kind of a more informative topic or a more serious topic, you did sprinkle in some humor. One in the opening where you said that hospitals give us food first and then show us the menu and prices. And then one more was your delivery when you said that at the clinic the tablet wasn't available, so they told you not to take it only. And one more thing that you excelled at is that I feel that you're very confident behind the lectern, and your voice is heard loud and clear throughout the entire week. So where can you improve? Towards the end of your speech, I felt it became very monotonous. So to break that up, you can try sprinkling in some humor, and since this is a serious topic, make sure that it is tasteful humor, or you can sprinkle in another experience of yours or another story just to break up that monotony. And one more thing is, I couldn't tell that you prepared this speech today. So when you stumble towards the end, instead of bringing that up, just take a pause and just collect your thoughts and continue. That being said, you can also try to prepare earlier for the speech. So where can you challenge yourself? One thing you can do is incorporate dialogue, and with dialogue comes stage movement, right? So you were speaking to the veterinarian and you were speaking to different clinics searching for tablets, right? Those things could have been turned into dialogue, and you could have used the stage yourself versus the other person. And also with dialogue comes in incorporation of humor also you can do as you're speaking, right? That is one thing that you could have done, just to move around the stage and use up the entire space you have. One more thing that I felt, your eye contact was good throughout the room, however, it was directed downwards. So, one tip that we all get towards the beginning is choose 3 points in the room to focus on. So, choose 3 points that are at your eye level, right? So, you focus on those points and your eyes won't tend to look downwards. So, just to conclude, where you excel, your speech structure, your speech purpose, sprinkling in a tiny bit of humor, and your confidence and loudness of your voice. Things that you can improve on is breaking up monotony and working on stumbling in your speech, taking a pause, recollecting your thoughts. And where you can challenge yourself, incorporating dialogue as well as eye contact directed upwards. Thank you, and back to the judges.
Shreya, for that evaluation. It was a classic sandwich method evaluation. Also with the summary at the end. I just wanted to ask the evaluator if she received project guidelines before that. Yeah, and coming to the speech, I agree with all points discussed by the evaluator. And one thing that I'd like to reinforce is never apologize for forgetting or something. I've heard this from somebody I don't remember, is when, especially when musicians come with a sore throat, when they start their show with saying, I have a sore throat, sorry, it kind of brings down the audience's expectation of them. So just go for it, take a pause if needed, and just continue with your speech. A round of applause to the speaker and the evaluator. Next, I'd like to have the second speaker's evaluator, Toastmaster Ujwal.
Namaste fellow Toastmasters, fabulous friends and familiar faces. And my target speaker, Toastmaster Apoorva. The first 10 seconds of a speech are what determine whether the audience pay attention to you or not. And in those 10 seconds, you had a brilliant hook, voice modulation, hand gestures, and beautiful stage gestures, beautiful stage utilization that helped you capture the audience attention. The next thing that I really liked about your speech was how natural the call between you and the other Toastmasters felt, just because of the little nervousness that you sprinkled in your call that was acted upon on the stage. The third thing that went beautifully in your speech was your choice of story that helped us connect. Almost every member here in the audience have lived through this contest, so we know the efforts that have gone through and that helped us connect better to your speech. Here are a few things that can help you take your speech to the next level. Starting off with your conclusion. The conclusion was rushed through, and I believe your earlier statement, when things don't go as planned, just improvise. I thought that was your conclusion, and that is where the speech would have ended. But you continued on, and the last statement of yours was not as power-packing as this. So I would suggest that you work on your conclusion to bring up a statement that stands out in our mind as the audience. Maybe this particular statement itself would have been used in this particular case. The second thing, as a speaker when we are standing here, I believe we should not take up the names of people when we might mention negative things about them. In your speech, I believe it would have been better to not take up the names of role takers who backed away, rather saying, so and so person in position rather just name the position. The contest master backed away in the last moment, or the role taker of the timer dropped out in the last moment. That helps keeping the audience perspective of a person safe and does not hurt their feelings. The third thing is gestures were generic and used repetitively throughout your speech. The gestures were generic. Rather, I suggest you could use specific gestures like when you said improvisation, you could use this gesture for improvisation. Lists, you could have used two hands to say list of role takers, list of participants. Rather than using generic gestures, I recommend you use specific gestures. The last thing that I'd like to point out on the brief, just like our general evaluator did, never apologize on the stage because it reduces your credibility. Instead, take a breath, compose yourself, and continue. To summarize, you had a great hook, voice modulation, hand gestures, and stage utilization. The call seemed very natural because of the sprinkle of nervousness. You had a great story that helped us connect. A few things that would help you take your speech to the next level are your conclusion, your not mentioning of specific people as it might hurt their impressions or feelings, work on gestures, not using generic ones, and don't apologize on the stage. With this, I wish you all the very best for your future speeches, and back to general value.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal, for that very succinct, crisp, and probably the loudest evaluation I've ever heard in Toastmasters. You covered, I think, a 360 of the speech and a very nuanced feedback, and I think your evaluations have high recall value because the points delivered are extremely clear and well stated that you don't even need to write it down. You will just remember, and that's the kind of impact that your evaluation has. So a huge round of applause for the speaker and the now coming to the table topics master, Toastmaster Madhusudhan. I think everyone always looks forward to Toastmaster Madhusudhan's table topics, always wondering what will he come up with next. And it's clear that he takes something, inspiration from a particular passion, and is very enthusiastic to know what kind of responses everyone else brings to his theme. It was the delivery of the topics was very clear and loud, so people didn't have to ask you to repeat. Probably they asked you to repeat it because of the depth of the topic itself. And one point to note that was that you were very organic in terms of not trying to fix a transition between topics, but when it came naturally, like educating the masses, you just stated it very naturally. A huge round of applause to Toastmaster Madhusudhan. Next, I think we'll move into the auxiliary role takers for their reports. I'd like to call upon the timer, Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Here is today's time report. The meeting commenced at 6:22 p.m. It's ironic that I am timer and I myself came late. I've been told not to apologize on the lectern, so I'll make an effort not to repeat that. The business session by the Sergeant at Arms was 2 minutes 36 seconds long. The time allocated was 2 minutes. The President's address along with the introduction and the report went on for 8 minutes 50 seconds. The time allotted for this was 8 minutes in total. The Master of Ceremonies so far has taken 21 minutes and 30 seconds. The time allotted was 20 minutes. Both speakers, Toastmasters Darshan took 6 minutes 55 seconds and was under time, while Toastmasters Apoorva went over time just by a small bit. the time is given on the board. All the individual timings of the table topic speakers are mentioned on the board for your reference. The total table topic session was 21 minutes long, the break time was 10 minutes long, and the general evaluator session is going on 7 minutes and counting. Back to general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmasters Ajay, for that report. Moving on to the Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator, Toastmaster Chetan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. In today's meeting, I found just one instance of a phone call ringing, which was immediately after it was told that it should be switched off. But otherwise, there was no crosstalks, no controversies around sex, politics, or religion, and no one walking in and out at inappropriate times. Thank you, and back.
Thank you, Chetan. Now I'd like to have the R counter for today, Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today, as a R counter, I have noted down all the filler words, repeated words, and crutch words. But I would like to read out only the words which are used more than 5 times. Toastmaster Ajay used more than 5 times are. Toastmaster Sachin used so more than 5 times. And General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shuba used more than hours. So that's it. Thank you so much.
What is it? Grammarian.
Oh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, for that encouraging our counter report. Next, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Rahul, the Grammarian.
Happy evening, everyone.
Happy evening.
I want to say this club has been amazing because no one has used the word of the day today. But not because of that. Yeah, except for sir. But for the next part, what I want to say. All here are veteran speakers. I didn't find any mistakes except for 2. That 2 were negligible. For that, give a round of applause for yourself. In speaker Darshan, Toastmaster Darshan, adding on is something twice you told, which could have been avoided. And Toastmaster Sachin, so because that is something which you could avoid, except that everything was just flawless. Thank you. And back to General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Just wanted to note that repeated words are the job of the R counter. I would have liked to hear some quotes or some kind of phrases used in the meeting.
I can say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I will stand here and say?
Sure, you can come here.
So, thank you again for the wonderful opportunity. So, first thing, what our master of ceremony told, a seeker gets solution. That hit me hard, and it gave a message of continuous persistence, which came out in Apoorva's speech also, wherein if nothing is working, just improvise. If nothing is working, just improvise. And yeah, and in Toastmaster Darshan's speech, I don't know, but it sounded very good. Not every referral is wrong, not every referral is needed. That even though it was used twice, it something it connected. That's what I would like to say. And back to Shuba, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Rahul. Next, I would like to come to the Master of Ceremonies. Right off the bat, like looking at the theme itself, especially when it's not something
like where there's a will, there's a way. You know what it means when you read it. Here, there's a little bit of thinking, what could it mean? And that mystery itself makes it a very unique topic. And you started off with a story from your childhood days, and I was really thinking where this was going to go and how it was going to connect to the topic. And you took us through a lot of different incidents where this theme applied very well, from figuring out the whole language differences and the clue and the hint in it, and finally the breakthrough of what you could do with maybe snipping off the word a little bit to change it to another language. And that was very beautifully transformed into a little bit about the history of the first Toastmaster Club in Ramsey's Medley. I don't think a lot of people would know about the second character in that story, who was Chamberlain, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, how that the clubs then became a federation and then transformed into Toastmasters. So that was a very nice take back into that world, and how Ralsei's medley was very much there, but it was also the people around him that helped in the transformation of Toastmasters. So coming to the comments on the entire thing, I really like that it started with a story which hooked us all, and you took us through that entire journey. And there was a lot of humor sprinkled in between, and it was a lot of the humor was also the way you said it, the way you had curated the sentences. So that was incredibly well done. It was engaging, and yeah, overall great job done. I also want to highlight that when introducing the speakers, usually the norm is you introduce the speaker, then the speech title, and then repeat the speech title. But you stated the speech title at the first and then introduced the speaker, which I think was a very good move, because it also gives a little intro into what the speech is about and then about the person. So with that, huge round of applause to our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster. I think that's it. And back to our Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Let's give her a good round of applause. Everything was in place for that wonderful general evaluation. There is an interesting thing that I would like to draw your attention to with respect to what Clark Chamberlain did. And it has something to do with our club as well. When we started in 1998, there were 3 other clubs, and one club mentored us, that's Garden City. And Ramlal, the mentor, is still there. Another Lokesh Shankarappa, who is not a member anymore. And all clubs were working in isolated way. They were not seeing even eye to eye. They were all vertical silos. And the first president, that our UK Sharma, is no more. During the chartering ceremony in 1999, he brought those clubs together for that particular function. And later on, that laid the foundation for what was to become a territorial council. And that in turn led to what we call as Toastmasters India movement first. And ours was the only corporate club at that time, with 40 members from this office building itself. All were employees of Mekong. And Sharma bringing it together, Sharma attending, M.U. Bhatt was the treasurer, that too. And I also tagged along something without doing anything, just going around. And that's how it triggered. And today, Indian number of clubs in India is almost 1100. and there are more than eight districts, I think. So you can imagine that happened only as a trigger. A breakthrough was that President at that time, UK Sharma, brought the other 3 clubs together. So then we linked up with you, Sri Lanka and what's like that. So this is just to give an idea how the clue, hint and breakthroughs occur. Just a small here and small effort there, it amplifies itself to a big movement. On this note, I would like to hand over the control back. Any problem? Am I on the right track?
Yes, sir.
On this note, I would like to hand over the control back to Madam President.
A quick announcement, the ballot has been resent again and I request everyone to please vote. The previous ballot will not be counted, only the current one will be counted. We deleted the previous one, or just a bit. So I'll give 15 seconds to everyone, including me. Coming to, okay, all the EC members, that is the outgoing EC members and incoming EC members, we have our EC meeting. We will be having on the ground floor near the security. All of you will be requested to be present there. We need to empty the hall by 8:15 from now onwards. I request all the members to please do the networking downstairs. Let's start the meeting from next Monday at 6:15 and end by 8:15. We need to finish our meeting by 8:15. So let's start early and end on time. And EC members, let's gather at ground floor with the security, both the incoming and outgoing EC members. Have everyone voted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 members. Let's give a huge round of applause to all of us first. Second time in a row, all 16 of us have voted. So there's no one pending. All of them have voted. Okay. Now the best TAPG rule taker. Goes to our timer Toastmaster Ajay. Best table topic speaker, Toastmaster Chetan. Best MTG road taker goes to our Toastmaster of the day, TTM AK Prabhakara. Best Evaluator whose voice can be heard in all the corners of the room. Toastmaster Ujwal. The most awaited one. The best speaker. Now I can understand when she told about her speech. I could connect very well because those were the messages. Latha, this one back down. Latha, this one back down. And I'm like, no, let's try this person. Our best speaker goes to our VP, Toastmaster Apoorva. We just finished with all the weapons, and I don't want to make it kind of a farewell speech because this is my last president speech or presidential address, and being the president for this term, it was a beautiful learning experience what I had. These 6 months was something I will cherish all my life. I may become the president again, but the first time is always special. So thank you, my colleagues, for making me the president. My mentors, distinguished Toastmaster Prabhakara and distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt and Toastmaster Sharma for bringing me behind this lectern and making me the person what I am. Thank you so much. I hereby close the last meeting of my term, meeting number 1348. Let's rise for the national anthem.